Get into NHL playoffs betting with Sports Interaction, as Jesse did during Game 7.
Oh, you mean like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Leafs,
like you did it live during the game. We were watching.
I don't celebrate that victory. They lost the game, but it was great that I could do that from my seat.
Before the game starts, live and player, how your favorite player will perform, doing it right since 1997. Sports Interaction is Canada's sportsbook with the most competitive odds. Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. And join now to see all the sports betting has to offer. It's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That is sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Sid Seixeiro on vacation and making time. Look at this. Look at this. He wants to. So Sid, you were pretty passionate about this, right? Like this was pretty. You were pretty upset with Canada Soccer.
Oh fuck yeah! Oh yeah.
So what happened here?
Okay. How long do you got? Seriously,
we got
how long
time.
do you
It's
got?
a podcast.
We'll ask the bosses.
I forgot how. I'm telling yes, and I believe there's a board meeting going on
That's
right
right.
now. First off, it's great to see you guys.
We love you, man. Good to see you.
You know, Leafs playing, Leafs not playing. You guys have one of the best pods out there. Period, and it's great to see you again. First off, to all the broadcasters in this country, radio or television, who consistently started every one of these conversations with, you know what, it's a really unfortunate situation. Thank you for updating me on how unfortunate it is. I really appreciate all of you going down this Johnny Obvious road that it's an unfortunate situation. Like I looked at them cancel a game, fly to Canada, cancel the game Sunday night, have Faisal Kamiza, his dad, and a bunch of other young families and fans coming down to BCE Place. And I thought it was a super fortunate situation. I want to thank everyone for clearing that up for me. I want to thank everyone for clearing up for me. Can we stop living in this fucking obvious take country of ours for once? People rip me all the time for being honest. Don't talk to me like I'm an idiot. I know exactly how unfortunate that is. Get a better take. That's the first thing.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm enough of this garbage. It's a very unfortunate situation. No kidding. No kidding. They canceled a game. Thank you for the update. I want to move on from that.
I also have to say, a lot of people are like, frustration on both sides. I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God, frustrations on both sides. Sorry, the second update was there's frustrations on both sides.
No way. Labor dispute? There's frustration on both sides? Get out of here.
Unreal.
Sorry, Sid.
No, it's all good. So I'm sitting there through the weekend and I'm reading and hearing that the men's team aren't training for like 2 straight days. It wasn't one day. And it's Sunday morning, and I'm like, is there a game tonight in Vancouver or not? Are we going to do this? And then when I heard that Nick Bontis, the president of the CSA, and the executives flew in like day of, I knew the thing wasn't happening. There's no way. Because and not for the first time in corporate history in this country, executives didn't really know how mad the employees were.
Mm-hmm.
So they showed up, and I've lived this, and you guys, they showed up, and they were like, whoa, I just got back from Cancun. Why is everyone so upset? They're so upset because there's been no negotiation. There's been 0 negotiations of any serious level, okay? Do you think Alphonso Davies is going to fly from Munich to Vancouver for no reason? Do you think Atiba Hutchinson, do you think Jonathan Osorio's in the middle of the season? Do you think these guys are going to leave their clubs? And by the way, for Davies and some of these other guys, this is technically their vacay. You think they're coming over to this country to not play without there being a good reason? That's a waste of their time. Alphonso Davies, we love Alphonso Davies in this country. I still don't think most people understand how big this guy is, okay? And he's coming over here to sit in a hotel room in Vancouver while they hash this out. You think that happens by accident? You don't think there's a good reason for that? You don't think he's been told something he doesn't trust? You don't think the guys have been told something they don't trust from the CSA? Of course they have. They're not just going to cancel the game. I'm seeing kids holding signs outside side of the stadium Sunday night talking to local news who legit 2 hours beforehand, like Faisal Kamiza, there was going to be a fucking game that night. And the CSA is like, yeah, they'll play. They'll play. Well, guess what happened? And not for the first time, the CSA had no idea PR-wise where they stood in relation to that team. Canada has fallen in love with that team. I got news for everyone at the CSA. Canada has fallen in love with that team to qualify for that World Cup. In the way they qualified for that, do you think anyone gives a fuck what an executive from Ontario thinks? Or do you think they care about what Atiba Hutchinson and Alphonso Davies and Jonathan Osorio think? The PR loss here for the CSA is staggering, but it's the bubble they've been living in for 30 years, which allows this to take place. And it is a rather unfortunate situation. It is.
But you have to acknowledge there's frustration on both sides.
What did you think? What did you think of Nick Bontis's press conference after, like immediately after explaining everything to the Vancouver media and sort of, as this thing blew up?
Well, let me talk about the first thing, because there's speculation online that because Nick Bontis came to Toronto Monday. He was in Vancouver Sunday night for that, whatever that was. And then everyone was really surprised when he flew back to Toronto. The word on the street is he's getting harassed and some of his family is getting harassed. Mm-hmm. Let's start off with this. I love Canada soccer. A lot of people do. Whether it's Nick Bontis, whether it's politicians, leave the families out of this.
Yes.
That is ridiculous. Any clown who searched out anything about Nick Bontis, who figured out who he was like 48 hours earlier, needs to check themselves in a serious way. And hopefully everything's okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know much more than that, but that's the word on the street. Because as you guys know, the emotions were running pretty hot over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It's
pretty hot.
It should be a prerequisite to the conversation not to commit crimes. Like, I feel like we shouldn't even have to say that.
You would think, right?
You would think.
You would think. But it's not like that. It's not. So I want to start with that. I hope everything's all right with Nick. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Sunday night. So what Nick and Earl Cochran, I'm not sure what his title is with the CSA, but he's clearly a right-hand man. He was sitting to the right of Nick, so clearly he's important. In the same press conference, they told me they weren't going to negotiate through the media and then proceed to negotiate through the media. Mm-hmm. That tells you all you need to know about really the thought process behind that one. Again, Nick Bontis thought he was going to sit there like he thinks he has a pulse of the fan. I'm sorry. He doesn't. He does not. Nick Bontis has never met me. I was down there watching games at BMO with 5,000 people at it. And there's a crew of people in and around the country at various cities who know exactly what I'm talking about, that have been waiting for this moment their whole life on the men's side. Thank God the women have won stuff. Thank God. They've led the way. Mm-hmm. Now we got two lanes here where our national teams, women, men, are on fire. And you're going to talk to us, and I'm going to say us because a lot of people know what I'm talking about, who've been down there, like this is our first day. You're going to talk to us like we don't think this has now, this World Cup qualification has now opened up new financial doors. Do I look that stupid to you? Do some of the fans look that stupid to you? You want to talk about a $25 million budget to run Canada soccer? I believe that. The game's changed a little bit, which he didn't talk about in that press conference.
Right.
The marketing that's opened up here, the TV rights that have opened up here, are staggering. Now, the role of the third party in this is what the issue is. What the players' issue is. Can you
explain that one? Because I think a lot of people are like, it's difficult for us to understand it because it's very business. And we're here to watch games. We're not here to understand the business side of it. Can you explain what that is? Because there was an agreement in 2018, and it extends and it covers some of this, and it's preventing them from making money. How does that all work?
So in 2018, Canadian Soccer Business is formed. Now, I find it odd their name is so similar to Canada Soccer, but that's the topic maybe we'll jump into in a couple seconds. They came in, and to their credit, invested as heavily in Canadian soccer as anyone you've ever seen. Now, there are former internationals involved in this group. The major positives here are twofold. The Canadian Premier League, who are growing every year and have really smart people in their front offices. I think they're doing a great job, terrific job. And this is our national team. And hopefully our women have the same luxury one day of having their own league here. But our men's national team will benefit from this. We'll produce 2 to 3 people who legitimately will play in the starting 11 one day, hopefully. The second thing they did was invest in One Soccer. Now, One Soccer has done as much to further the game of soccer in this country as any TV network out there. And I have dear friends who work for One Soccer. They do incredible work. Incredible work. The problem is now all of that good is really being put under a microscope because the other side to Canada Soccer business that started in 2018 is they also own now all the commercial rights to Canada Soccer. Oh. National teams and clubs who aren't MLS affiliated. I'm talking everything. So the national team players, from what I can gather, when this dispute started to kind of percolate, they got a weird feeling that there was a lot of flush money coming in and the CSA were terrified to lose it. The question was why? Why, if FIFA's giving our country $10 million, you are freaking out over this? And the reason they're freaking out is they don't know how much of that money goes right to Canada Soccer business. There's zero transparency, which is the history of Canada Soccer. History. Transparency? Good luck. Good luck. They'll stay in 5-star hotels at FIFA conferences easily. But transparency with the men's team, the women's team? Forget it. That is the guts of what's going on here. The players, if you're going to offer the players 10% on 10 million, they want to know why it's so important you keep the 90. And there is a level of distrust with this Canada Soccer business and how much revenue can come in that has not been answered. And the one thing I have an issue with is when I hear people say the players need to be more informed. The players need to know what's going on with Canada Soccer business. They need to be up to speed. Here's what I'll tell you. The 2019 Canada Soccer year-end financial report does not mention this deal once. The 2020 year-end financial report does not mention this deal once. The 2021 CSA financial year-end report does not mention this deal once. The players should be more up to speed. We all need to be up to speed because the information is not available. So put that on the players. Guys that just played in minus 30-degree temperatures and went through Central America during a pandemic, for God's sakes. They need to be more informed. The information's not out there for anybody. Anybody. No one wants to talk about this deal. They want to talk about the positives, and there are a ton. And I feel for a lot of my colleagues at One Soccer that are now caught in the middle of this garbage. They didn't want this. They didn't deserve this. Gareth, Sharman, a lot of good people. CPL, Christian Jack, amazing people. They're kind of in the middle of this, and they didn't ask for it, which is bullshit. They're awesome people. Andy Petrillo, everybody. But this information as to what this deal is not for public consumption. And for a while, it wasn't for private consumption. That's why that game didn't get played Sunday. Do you think Alphonso Davies gives a shit about another 3 million? He'll make that on Instagram next week.
He's right.
This is about something very different. If Canada Soccer is going to move forward here as an Olympic gold medal winning women's nation, and hopefully one day World Cup women's nation, and a World Cup participant on the men's side, the game is changing. And this we don't know where the money goes thing isn't good enough anymore. If this is going to be a partnership to grow the game, the Golden Cogs, those two programs, have to know what everyone's doing here, or there's no trust. Anyone on this call, or listening to this on pod, or watching this on YouTube, I'm guessing 90% of you someone has tried to fuck you over financial. It's not fun. When you can't trust someone, it's not fun. All they want to know is, how much money is Canada Soccer business going to make off this in our most profitable moment? That's it. If we're going to be partners, let's be partners. And I gotta hear Nick Bonda Sunday night say we have a $25 million operating budget. You did. In 3 years, what the fuck is the budget going to be? Don't talk to them like they're 5. These guys are smarter than you think, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. And that's what led to that game being canceled. Sometimes you need to shake someone like this before you get their attention. And that's what that was. If Canada Soccer is going to move forward, we got to know where the money's going. I'm sorry. This isn't about the 10 million. It isn't. This is about trust. This is about transparency. This is about what happens next for the women's side and the men's side. Listen, perfect world, you pool all the World Cup money together, men's and women, just like the USA did after a long fight, I grant you. After a long fight, but then you get together and you split it. And guess what? That's what's going to happen here. But if the officials want to keep fighting this and they want to drag this out, this unfortunate situation, then it's going to get uglier. Now, I think they're going to play, from what I've heard, they're playing tomorrow night. I got a weird feeling when the CSA put out that statement yesterday with no players on it, but they're going to play tomorrow night because there's repercussions if they don't from FIFA. It's an official Nations League game. It's different from a friendly. But we're getting in the weeds. A point here was made, okay? And if Canada Soccer, if we've got to move forward here as a nation that works together and brings in more money for everybody, we got to be honest with each other. And the players are feeling like the honesty isn't there. That's why the game was canceled.
Wow.